Hello there. This is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another podcast. The problem is spreading. Before I go any further, let me shout out someone who follows me on Instagram and comments occasionally on my page, and that's Afro Masculinity. Follow him on Instagram. It's in the description box. He has some very good red pill content and everything. So let me give him a shout out. Anyway, the problem is spreading. You know what? The other day I was talking with a young man, protege, and he's in Portugal. He's in Portugal, so we got to coordinate times and everything. Speak by Skype and whatnot. That's the only time I like being on Skype. Either if I'm talking with a young lady overseas or a client or something, protege or something overseas, right? Just because it's easy. Anyway, right? We were talking, and he was asking me. He was said he picked up on something. He said with a lot of the younger women now, not the older women, but maybe younger women, because he's a young guy, like late 19, 20, stuff like that. They're coming with those same attitudes that American women are known to come with, because he's dealt with some American women, right? And, that whole thing with, the feminism, the arrogance, everything like that. And I'm not surprised. People don't realize, but my books sell all over the world. When I say all over the world. And then on my Vimeo channel, I was peeping something. I was like, wait a minute. Hold up. I'm getting people buying this stuff from all over the planet, literally, like Russia, places, some places I barely heard of and whatnot. I don't have a list in front of me, but Russia. I got somebody in the middle of Russia buy my stuff. India, Hong Kong, South America. In fact, I've had coaching clients. I can't even speak English with them. We got to do it all email and stuff, and we have a translator on. And I think they got the technology now for translators, so I might be able to speak with them one day, right? But I'm just like, people don't realize, see, one thing, and this is a big thing. It's a big thing for men in America to go overseas to find love, happiness, wife, whatever. And because they feel like, hey, these American women, they too into feminism, or they too slutty or whatever. I'm just here to tell you. Don't think look, you might be able to go overseas. You might be able to meet that right woman. But it's getting to the point that you might as well just pick through what you can right in your own neighborhood. It's that deep. I'm getting an increasing amount of men from across the world who hit me up. I've coached, and they say, nah, this is happening over here too. Now, there's some slight variations, of course. Always some slight variations, but it's the same general thing. Because what's happening is women feeling themselves. Women don't need more and more when women generally look for three general things from a man, right? For him to provide for him to physically protect her in one way or the other, and to have sex with. You get a lot of women in these martial arts classes and at the gun ranges and stuff. So they like, shit, we can protect ourselves. In fact, I know a young lady who, I've known her for years and stuff, real peaceful type. She be going to the gun range twice a month. All right, so that protect thing ain't there like it was for many women. And then the money thing is like, boom, whatever. You got women out here, men are still making more money, but you have plenty of women out here making enough money to at least, buy a home, take care of themselves monetarily. And so what's happened is the female gaze has been freed. And in fact, they can go for the guy that they just find sexually attractive now. And just that. And then also, too, feminism, a big part of feminism is just taking power away from men whose only power was to protect and to provide. That's like at the base of this whole Me Too movement. These women just say, you know what? We don't need your status or whatever to get what we want now. So that's why a lot of these women, they speaking up. Because when they dealt with whatever from a guy, they had to. They were like, oh, well, it's to advance their career and all that. Now they're like, oh, we don't have to do that shit no more. And that's why a lot of dudes, they like getting blindsided. They thought some shit. You know what? They could have like found Jesus or the Great Pumpkin, since they dealt with someone. Like literally, like, whatever behavior they had 20 years ago. And it's just like they changed up or whatever. And women are just like going after them, and that's spreading, yo. That's spreading. And it's more overseas than it's really been over there. But the thing with foreign women, and I'm speaking as someone from the United States, they just slicker anyway. They've always been slicker. They just know how to play the game better. They know how to stroke an ego better and get what they want. There's a lot of guys thinking they're getting a good woman overseas, and she just needs somebody to pay for her family and stuff. And they just faking the guy, and they got the guy's ego on the side because the guy think he really want them. They just now, the difference between American women and many women in other countries is American women tell you shit straight up front. If they ain't feeling it, they'll tell you straight up front. Women in other countries, they'll get what they want out of you first. So, just to say though, and it was just interesting because you hearing this from a young guy. And this guy's out there. He ain't somebody who's just sitting in the house or something. He out there. He out there in the streets. I've heard that from a couple guys in Europe. Quite a few, really. Not just a couple, quite a few. And they say, nah, Rom. Because they call me Uncle Rom, too. They were just like, nah, this is what's happening. This is what's happening. These how these women behaving. And it's really no different from what many American men are seeing. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if it'll reverse itself. And I got a video, I just did a video saying there's some stuff happening in the black community, but I don't know how long that'll take. I mean, I'm saying, I think I gave it 5 years before we really start seeing something, but it might be another 100 years or something like that. Because, it's going to change. But right now, it's spreading. And a lot of guys, you getting that passport thinking, oh, yeah, I'm going to go over here and do this. I don't know, dog. I don't know. Because you know what? At the end of the day, really, it still come down to whether you can turn her on sexually and then take care of her other needs. Basically, just basic shit. And, and how much she feel in your companionship. That's what it still, no matter what, even when you go overseas, it still come down to some basics. And one thing I would say with men, you have to be the type of man that can go any place and get a woman without spending your money. That's the key thing. And that's how I learned the game growing up. It was like, what can you get from a woman? What needs can you get fulfilled from a woman without you having to pay for it? That's always been the game, to the degree you could do that. And the reality is, a man has to develop himself all the way around. So he can get a woman in Southeast D.C. or in Amsterdam, in Moscow, assuming we don't go to war. Syria, Bangladesh, wherever, Hong Kong. A man has to get to that point he can go anywhere, and then he can sift through the women who might be trying to use him or whatever. Because that's the only real answer. It's like just changing your locale is not an automatic answer. And I know some dudes out there have found a good woman, but it's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. The same principle. You can find a good woman here, or you can find it overseas. And it's maybe not the overseas thing so much as it's just she just feeling you. Because it's still wherever you go. But, just overall, just understand you're going to run into the same stuff regardless. And even overseas or something, you're going to have to sift through some shit. So, anyway, that's it for today, y'all. I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.